Welcome to ReviewMean, the channel where we go an extra mile to simplify your movie decisions. Today we will be analysing The Long Walk, an American dystopian survival thriller film based on the 1979 novel by Stephen King. At the time of this video, these are the reviewers who had reviewed the movie. With a good impression of Mark Hamill's character, Jeremy Jahns says, "I really like the fact that the movie just got going too. It got to the point, it gives you some text catching you up on why people do this walk, and then our main is dropped off at the walk. The cut to title actually happens after the first person lags behind, falls back, and gets executed on the long walk. I appreciate when a movie doesn't waste your time, fills you in on what you need to know, and then gets right to it." Well, I appreciate that too, Jeremy. By the way, I'll suggest you watch Jeremy's impression of Mark Wahlberg's character in Flight Risk.
Do you have any idea what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to make him watch. Oh, you ain't getting off that easy. She's going to watch us too.
Hilarious. Anyway, he also says, "It just doesn't end in the most fulfilling manner. But the journey itself, the walk as it were, it was highly entertaining. He had himself a pretty good time, no alcohol required. So we'll score this a 3.5 out of 5. Cody Leach says, "There's elements to this movie and what you can take away from it that I think are potentially even more relevant now in 2025 than they were in the 60s when King first put pen to paper. That's interesting." Cody goes on to speak of the timing of the film's release and shares his concerns about the reality of the world that we live in today. You have raised some serious points there, Cody. We are with you. We find certain reactions to tragedies to be downright wicked, and our prayers go out to the loved ones of the dearly departed. Cody also says, "I don't know if this is going to be a rewatchable film for me. It's not to the level of devastation where I would never watch it again, but I do think it's such a deep and it's such a heavy movie that it's not going to be as rewatchable as some things like Stand By Me." Well, I have not seen Stand By Me. Perhaps some of you have. He suggests that you go out and buy The Long Walk, giving it a 4.5 out of 5 score, after showing off his well-painted and manicured nails in a sponsored message. Chris Stuckman gives his thoughts on The Long Walk. He says, "And the friendship bond that eventually forms between some of these guys made this movie feel very beautiful. So, when the inevitable deaths start to happen, it really gets under your skin and makes you feel for these guys. I was on the verge of tears during certain scenes." He also says, "This is not a fun movie. It's very difficult to watch at times, and I'm not going to rush out to immediately experience this emotional turmoil anytime soon. But I'll definitely watch it again in the near future. It's really, really good. Check it out on the big screen. And you should also check out Chris's movie Shelby Oaks on the big screen, coming out October 24th. We'll convert his review to a 4 out of 5 score. Mark Kermode of the Kermode and Mayo channel says, "So the film is well made. It is grueling. It's a 15 certificate for strong violence, injury, detail, and language. Although I think it's a top-end 15, because I thought it was pretty brutal." Mark also says, "At times it's a slog. I mean, watching people walk, talk, and get shot can be pretty depressing viewing. What makes it work, I think, is that like all the best dystopian sci-fi, it does seem to resonate with the actual modern world." We'll convert this review to a 3.5. Pretty good reviews so far. Austin Burke says, "It's kids that are going through this, and so if you don't want to see that, don't watch this movie. But if you're worried about being bored because this plot feels kind of recycled as we go and we get to the halfway point, what more could they do? I never felt that. I was invested on the edge of my seat." He also says, You're supposed to gravitate towards the characters and their arcs as they grow to learn, accept, and embrace. And you feel that every literal step of the way. But it's not just, oh, my feet are sore, I'm getting tired. It's, sprained ankles, broken bones. What happens when a guy has to poop? I don't like the word poop. Well, if you don't like that word, you shouldn't watch The Long Walk. 2 interesting warnings. So for those of you who can't stand such, you know what to do. As for Austin, this is one of his favorite movies of 2025. He gives it an impressive 90 out of 100, translated to 4.5 on our scale, while puffing and panting as he long walks on a treadmill.
Just like me trying to finish this review, man. God damn, I'm still going.
3C Films reviews The Long Walk. He says, "All is to say, I went into the movie hoping just not to be bored with the premise after the 20-minute mark. And instead, what I got was one of the best Stephen King adaptations put on film. I'm not exaggerating when I say I loved The Long Walk." He also says, "But I think at its core, it does such a great job with its metaphor. Its commentary on society and our favorite movie trope, the indomitable human spirit, which is really the biggest core of this movie." He gives the movie the 3C guarantee. Check out his full review to know what that is. The average of his scores is 3.2, which becomes our score. Rob from the John Campea Show says, "Well, when you've read a book and you've been thinking about it for 45 years, you have a very specific way you'd like to see it adapted. That said, The Long Walk is a very good film." He also says, "It is very uncompromising, it is unflinching, it is really hard to watch, I think, at some points, but it is a wonderful movie that shows a deep integrity and love. There are significant changes made to certain elements of the novel that I was like, I don't know. But upon reflection, I can't complain. I guess a 4 out of 5 is suitable for someone who has been waiting for this for 45 years and has no real issues with the adaptation. Hello, Deep Focus Lens. Haven't seen you in a while." She says, "This movie understands, I think, that the focus is on the ensemble of actors, and the performances here are all fantastic. I mean, surprisingly fantastic across the board when it comes to the young boys. The commitment to the emotion from everybody went above and beyond, in my opinion. And the camaraderie that they all have, just the natural ebb and flows in the dialogue, the humor, it felt effortless. I couldn't get enough of it." She also says, "But I will say, as much as I appreciated and fell into the tension of this movie, the simplicity of it, the structure does kind of hinder the movie at the same time, especially as it goes into the 3rd act, because it feels like the story is afraid to veer into those really devastating places." She does elaborate on this. Check out her full review, where she gets into more detail. She definitely recommends this movie, so we'll give this a 3.5 out of 5. You can tell where Adam's going when he says he listened to moviegoers hype the movie to insane levels before he got to see it. He says, "And for me, The Long Walk, a solid film, a very engaging, enjoyable movie from front to back, easy to sit through. There's a lot of stuff going on that I really appreciated. It does lack in a few places which I will go over, but for the most part, I think people will have a good time with this one." He adds, "For me, this stuff all worked very well. The hour and 45 flew by very quickly. I just didn't get the impact I think some other of my fellow critics got a week or so back when they saw this early. But overall, a solid watch, one I could revisit down the road, no problem." We'll convert his review to a 3 out of 5. The opening sentences from beyond the trailer lets you know immediately what she thinks. "I can no longer say that I've never seen poop come out of somebody's butt. And now I've seen it twice thanks to this new movie, The Long Walk. What a crazy assignment for the VFX team, assuming it's VFX. How badly do you want to be in a movie, young man? Wow. But it's surprisingly appropriate visual for one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Yikes. She also says, this is basically just watching a number of young men be tortured with nothing. Not entertainment value, not commentary, not filmmaking to justify it.
Something's wrong with us.
She called this movie crap. A 0.5 out of 5 score for us. Now let's round up the numbers and convert to percentage. The ReviewMean score for The Long Walk is 3.4 out of 5, which is 68% compared to 89% on the tomatometer. So it seems like it's something to see on the big screen. But if you share beyond the trailer's feelings, you might want to keep your distance from such shit-showing shenanigans. Ha! How's that for a tongue twister? There you have it, folks. But what about you? Did our score match your vibe? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if this helped you make a more informed decision, or gave you one less thing to Google today, give a big thank you to the amazing reviewers we featured by subscribing to them, support their work, and of course smash that subscribe button for ReviewMean. Like, comment, share, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, let the numbers do the watching for you.